So I was talking with a buddy the other day. He is learning the piano on his own. He plays the guitar, and he was talking to me about visualizing chords. As a classically trained musician, the theory is the focus, and I want to make sure that I really understand my theory when I'm working on a new piece, because that allows me to learn that piece a lot faster, as well as memorize it. Now, for somebody who just wants to play the chords and sing along, which is his case, there's no real need for all of that. And that takes a lot of time to learn the theory and understand how that works on the keyboard. And then we started talking about guitar tabs. For guitarists who are not classically trained and don't read the notes, they just look at tab charts. And when they think of G chord or a C chord, they think of it as a shape on the fretboard. And then I thought to myself, well, when I'm playing music, I don't really think about playing like a B flat major chord at first inversion or things like that. I mean, eventually I do, but in the moment, especially if I'm reading the sheet music, it's the shape. I can visualize the shape. If someone tells me play a B flat major chord in second inversion, for example, right away, I just know what that feels like. And that's kind of a weird concept, is the feel of it. But that feel that comes over time is something that can be denoted or shown in a bit of a picture format. And that's kind of what tabulature is. So I thought to myself, well, you know what? When I'm playing stuff for piano, I'm thinking of shapes all the time. And in all these tutorials, I'm also describing certain patterns as shapes, like a V shape or a rooftop shape. What we're gonna do in this video is we're gonna break down the 12 major chords and the 12 minor chords with regards to their shape. Now I'm going to introduce a bit of a hack here. Once you know the major chord, you will be able to figure out the minor chord very, very quickly. So we're actually only going to learn 12 different chords, and not 12 different shapes, actually less, because a lot of these can be grouped into the same sort of shape. So let's get started. Now, before I reveal to you exactly how I am visualizing chords, and I believe many pianists out there are doing just the same thing, we are going to be focusing on one octave. Now, an octave is when you're playing one tone and you can find a similar tone, it sounds either higher or lower. We're going to focus on the octave in the middle of the keyboard. Now, this is an 88 key keyboard, so the middle here is, I always explain it as a group of 3 black keys and a group of 2 black keys. This is the center, the middle of the keyboard. The exact center is here. We generally focus on the letter C, the middle C of the keyboard, and we can get into that in a future lesson. However, right now, we're just going to do the ultimate chord hack. So, if you don't know the letter names of your keys, I suggest you learn that first. That is very important. To learn the letter names of your keys is going to help you be able to play the chords you need for being able to, let's say, sing along. So if there is a certain song and it's saying play E, A, B, and you don't know that this is E, A, and B, E, A, B, or E, A, B, then you need to figure that out first. Now you can learn that online. I'm sure there's a lot of pictures, a lot of videos that you can figure this out on your own. You can also sign up for the Piano Hooks Play What You Want course. Sign up for a few months and learn all the basics from your posture to the letter names of the keys to being able to actually listen to a melody and figure that out on the keyboard. And playing by ear is what ultimately we want to be able to do. So we are going to be focusing on this C and work our way up to the B, because this is just a copy. Now, how many different keys do we have here? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 tones in the diatonic musical structure. And if you play a scale like that, that is called a chromatic scale. However, we are going to be learning all of the major and minor triads. Okay, so triad is the smallest form of a chord. Now, why that is? Let's say I play a C and an E. Now, there's no other context here. I'm simply playing a C and an E. These two tones could be part of many different chords. Right now, we don't know if that's happy or sad sounding. If I add this, now we've got more of a sad sound. This is actually a minor chord. What if I add this? We have an augmented. If I add, let's say, this sounds happy. This is a major chord. In this case, a triad, because tri means 3, and we have 3 different tones here. We are going to be focusing on triads only. So we want all 12 of the triads. We're going to break this down into major, and then I'm going to give you the hack to figure out minor. So for C major, we have our C. What we need to do is skip a tone, and then skip another one here, and we play those together. Now, yes, we have a major third, we have a minor third here. That's more theory. We're not going to talk about theory here at all. If you want to learn the intricacies of music, go study theory. You need to if you really want to take your music to a farther level. But if you just want to play at a party and you want to be able to play some chords and sing along, that's basically what Piano Hooks is all about. You're learning the chords, you're learning the chorus, the basic part of the song, because that's what people remember. They don't remember all the different verses and bridges of songs generally. They want to know the chorus and they want to sing along. So let's make sure that you can do that. So on C, we want C major. Now, what is this shape? Well, I'm going to give you, number one, the trick in how to build a chord. We always are going to start on the white keys. And if we do need to use the black keys, we're going to shift a little bit. To build a basic chord, we start with C. The reason we're starting with C is it works out perfectly. You play a key, you skip one, you play another one, you skip one, and you play one above. From here to here, we call that a fifth, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tones in a major scale. And then we're going to add the one key right in the middle. Now, what kind of shape is this? Well, I call this flat. So we're going to denote that by a straight line. Okay. What if I want to play the next tone? I want to play a major chord on this black key here. Now, what is this black key? You have to be able to give it a name. Well, it has two names. We are going to call it D flat for the sake of this video. So a D flat major chord. Well, you know what? That's kind of weird because now I got all these black keys to deal with. So let's ignore the black key. Let's just go right up to a regular D. Okay? They're related. They both have D in their name. So I'm going to pick the easiest one to think of. What is the trick in making a chord? Play a key, skip one. Play a key, skip one, play a key. Okay, perfect. Now that doesn't sound right. That sounds sad, but whatever. We've got our basic structure. Now, I want this one here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift down. I'm actually going to shift everything down. Okay, there we go. Now I still have that funky sound, here is the trick for this one. I already use this key when playing the C major triad. I'm not going to reuse it here. So let's shift it up, okay? We shifted everything up. So let's just shift it all up. This is going to be our D flat major triad. Now, that was a flat shape. What do you think this is? If my fingertips are points and you connect those points, what kind of a shape do you get? Well, I get a V. So D flat major is a V shape. C major is a flat shape. Okay, so we've got D flat major. What's next? D. Let's figure out D major. So we can just go from here and shift everything up. Let's just do that. So this shifts up, and this shifts up. Now, if you know some terminology, we're moving everything up by semitones, okay? So we have now a D major triad. If you take my fingertips and you connect them with lines, what shape do you get? Well, I call this a rooftop shape. Okay, so we had a V shape, now we have this rooftop shape. So C major was flat, D flat major was a V shape, D major is a rooftop shape. All right, so associate that. Now, when I'm playing D major chords, I see this all the time. Rooftop, 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 rooftop. Okay, I'm not thinking of the individual tones. I'm just thinking of that shape. So practice the shape. Okay, D major. What's next? Let's move up a semitone. Let's move up to the next nearest key. This moves up, that moves up. Kind of sounds nice, eh? All right, so we have, this is E. I'm gonna call this E flat. This is an E flat major triad. What kind of a shape do we have here? Remember this one? That was D flat major. Now we have E flat major. They both have this V shape. Okay, let's review. C major, flat. D flat major, we have a V shape. D major, we have a rooftop shape. E flat major, we have a V shape. Okay, let's move everything up now to get to E. We want E major. What does E major look like? Move up, move up, move up. Okay, perfect. So we connect the dots and we get another rooftop shape, just like D major. All right, let's move on to this letter. Now, if you don't know this offhand, just by me playing it and looking at it, you have some work to do. So do not continue working on this video until you know all of your letter names. So for this next chord, we want to figure out F major. We were here, move up, move up, move up. That looks familiar. Let me jump down to C. Okay, that is our F major triad in root position. Okay, these are all in root position. Again, if you're not too sure what that is where you have to start studying a little bit of theory. But this is the ultimate chord encyclopedia. So just memorize it like you would tabs, because when you learn tabs, you don't know theory. You're just playing shapes. So there you go. F major, flat position. Next one, G flat. So what I'm going to do is I will shift all of these up. Okay, we have G flat major. Now, we're playing black keys, but we have no shape here again. We're flat. So F, to G flat is flat. Now, I don't play chords like this, to be honest, unless I'm doing some sort of an arpeggio. I'm doing this for the sake of easy visualization. So if you need to play like this, that's fine, but this is not necessarily a proper technique here. So we have a flat shape for G flat major. Now, let's move everything up a step. 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is a G. So this is a G major triad. Again, we have flat. So we have flat, flat, flat. Let's move on from here. So we're going to go to the next black key. Now I am going to name this flat. Flat means a step down. So this is A flat. Let me move everything up a step. Up, up, up. Okay, connect the dots. What do you get? We get a V shape. Okay, where did we see that again? We saw that here, E flat major, and we saw that here, D flat major. V, V, V. Let's move on to A major. What shape does that make? Move up, move up, move up. We have another rooftop shape. Where did we see that? I'll do it this way. Rooftop, rooftop, D major, E major, A major. There's a bit of a correlation between D, E, and A. D, E, A. Remember those three letters. Rooftop, rooftop, rooftop. Okay, D, E, A. Let's go D flat, E flat, A flat. D flat, E flat, A flat. That's the reverse of rooftop. So if we have D as a rooftop, when you go down a step, just flip everything. So the whole shape gets flipped and all of these get flipped. So DEAs, they all have the same shape. That makes your memorizing of this easier. We left off at A. Let's go up to B flat. Move up, move up, move up. Okay, this is one of those more strange shapes. And as a classically trained pianist, and the reason I say classically trained is because we do focus on major and minor keys for the most part. This shape and the next one we're going to learn, actually the next one is quite a bit more comfortable, but this one is usually awkward for a lot of students, including professionals, when we're practicing arpeggios and chords and broken arpeggios, all these different patterns that we can do with this shape. It doesn't fit as nicely under the fingers as some of the other shapes. So this shape, I am going to call this a hockey stick shape because we're here in Canada and we love hockey. So we come down to connect these two dots and we go across. And you got that hockey stick shape. This is the only hockey stick shape that we have here. All right, now the last one. We step up, step up, step up. Okay, this is B major. That was B flat major, that's a hockey stick, and B major. We have this shape where we go up and across. Let's call this the tabletop shape. So it's almost like a ramp coming up, and then we have the flat top here. And hopefully there's going to be a ramp coming down. Okay, so let's break down all of these shapes here. So from C major, we have flat. Let's find the other flats. I'm not going to move up through them because it's better to group together the different shapes. We have flat for C, flat for F, and flat for G. Major. We are playing major chords here. All right, let's now go to D. D, E, and A are rooftop shapes. Now let's go to the black keys. D flat, E flat, and A flat are V shapes. And then we have the two strange ones. Hockey stick shape for B flat major, and the tabletop shape for B major. So when you're practicing these, try to just think of those shapes. And again, we're just skipping different keys here. Even when we play black keys, we're pretty much just skipping tones in the major scales. So in this case, we're skipping these two. In this case, E flat major, we skip those two. In A flat major, we're skipping those two. Now that's a little bit more than is necessary to know for this, because you need to then know all of your major scales, and then you dive deep into the world of theory. Again, we're just learning chords based on shape. Okay, so please make sure you practice. Flat, V, rooftop, V, rooftop, flat, flat. Oh, we didn't review that one. Flat, flat, V, rooftop, hockey stick, tabletop. What are the shapes we have? One of them is flat. Second one, V. Third one, rooftop. That's flat also. So flat, V, rooftop. Hockey stick, B flat major. Tabletop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've talked about all the major triads in root position. What that means is the most important tone is on the left-hand side of the keyboard. We call that the bottom because the tones on the left side of the keyboard are low. They have the low pitch. So if you want to make this sound a little bit more rich and you want to look like you really know what you're doing, you can take a copycat of that bottom tone, find that bottom key an octave lower. There you go. So now if I want to jump up to the next flat, that's going to be the copycat of the root. And then you can go to the V shapes. D flat, E flat, A flat major. We've learned all of the major triads in root position and their shapes to make it way easier for you to memorize these. How about all the minors? Well, there is a minor triad for each of these 12 tones that we just played. We're not going to break down the shapes. You can do this on your own, but I will give you the one hack that will make you do it. All you need to do is play the major triad, take that middle key that you're playing, no matter what fingers you're playing, if you're using your elbow, whatever the heck you're doing, just take that middle key and move it down a step. That's all you have to do, and you get the minor chord, the minor triad. All right, let's do a few examples. C major, C minor. Let's do all the flats. F major, F minor. All right, how about this one? This is a weird one. G flat major, G flat minor. And when you know a term called enharmonic equivalence, that's going to be really important because this is G flat minor, but actually it's easier to call it F sharp minor. Let's look at something like D flat major. You've got that V shape. All you do is you take that middle tone and you step it down. You're going to get D flat minor or C sharp minor in this case. And let's look at one more. This is the hockey stick shape of B flat major. Take that middle key and step it down. That's B flat minor.